It is the time of the night where we get that big fellow who I've heard is doing impersonations now instead of farming. His name is Peter Weir, and he joins us for the Jeparit Rainbow Storm report. Weary, how are you?
Yeah, going really well, thanks, Wayne. And yeah, it was very good of you to show up to Jeparit Rainbow's Mad Monday and provide the boys a few laughs after a disappointing grand final.
I was told that a fella holding a microphone with a Flow Media top looking like Richie Beno was actually turning up. So
Yeah, he was there, and a few blokes were wondering why he was up trees and on roofs as well, Flowman. But yeah, apart from that, you were pretty well behaved, I think.
Oh, nicely done. And Mad Monday turned out to be a good show. Apart from yourself stealing the show with a microphone and me being impersonated reasonably well at times, I'm led to believe. But who were the other well-dressed up people from the Mad Monday?
Well, Dan Batson went as Sam Kerr, so that got a few laughs, and there was a Jamaican bobsled team there as well, Flowman. So it was a great day, and yeah, unfortunately we didn't get the result, but yeah, the boys had a good time at the vote count on the Sunday, and then followed it up with the Mad Monday.
Very nicely done. We'll have a look at the game. It was a magnificent performance, and you didn't win, but you didn't lose any friends across the Wimmera and Mallee. A lot of folk came to watch, and I've heard from others outside of your club just how many people thought that you put in an absolute beauty of a showing against a side that was full of stars. Nick Pekin and co at Harrow Balmoral. 11-3-69 to Jeparit Rainbow 7-7-49. You outscored them after quarter time. You had the injury to one of your star players in Lucas Edelston late in the game. And look, this was a very, very good effort, and it shows that next year there's more to come from the Storm.
Yeah, I think everyone leaving the game on Saturday would have thought they just watched a grand final flow, man. It was a really solid contest, and as you said, there were some real stars on both teams, and it was great to be out there involved in it. Unfortunately, we couldn't quite get over the line, but yeah, it came as no surprise we brought the effort that we did. I was disappointed, as was the whole team, in that semi-final result. We knew we had more to give them that flow, man, and that was on full show in the grand final. But yeah, unfortunately, we just couldn't quite get there.
You couldn't, and in the end, Nick Garron was incredible. He kicked 4 and was best player. Look, the effort was there right through. Nick Pekin and the Close boys that did the job on their side. Jai Thompson bobbed up with 3 for them, and Simon Close and Nick Pekin kicked goals when they needed to, and that is the key in that third quarter. They got the 3 unanswered goals in the third quarter. Weary, was there a feeling that maybe at that point that there just was a loss of momentum? Was there a turnover or two that just possession loss? How did that happen, and is that the difference between the two sides?
Oh, I think it was Flow, man. In that half-time break, I really thought we had them on the ropes, as did everyone, and they were probably feeling the same way. They wouldn't have felt that pressure for a long time, and credit to them, they did stand up at that moment, Flow, man, and they were able to hit the scoreboard. And as we know in finals, scoreboard pressure's huge. So for them to get those 3 goals on the back of a few mistakes from our boys, but they were only minor mistakes, but good teams make you pay, and that's what they did. And they took that lead into 3/4 time, and I thought it was still very much game on at 3/4 time. But yeah, unfortunately, Lucas Edelston went down early in the last quarter, which created a bit of a delay for 15, maybe 20 minutes, and then a bit of rain fell across the game. But yeah, from credit to both sides, though, the tempo remained upbeat once the game resumed. But yeah, we just found it a bit tricky in those tougher conditions to fight back that last 20 points. And yeah, Harrow Balmoral took the premiership.
They did. They celebrated, but you did too on the big night afterwards. And then, of course, the count on Sunday. The reserves won by Narrajua Quantong 9-3-57 to Harrow Balmoral 5-10-40. A good performance in the 17s by Pimpanayo 10-12-72 to Natty Mark 8-8-56. A great game this was, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think Natty Mark brought their best footy in the final series, and the Pimpanayo boys deserve their trophy being undefeated. And yeah, as you touched on in the reserves, Quantong actually turned around a 5-goal loss in that semi-final to overcome the Harrow team. So a great result for those boys on their home deck.
And talking about them, what about the kids? The early game, poor old Knively Orr, their first piece of silverware on the line, and they lost by a point to Narrajua Quantong 4-6 to 4-5 at their other Bomber home ground. Oh, that is disappointing for the Cougars.
Yeah, heartbreaker for the Cougars, but yeah, it's great to see such a big support for both these teams in the under-14s. I think most of Canova travelled there to support their junior team, so that's great for their club. And, yeah, a great win for the Narrabri Quantong boys. And talking about celebrating grand final wins, as I was leaving the game on Saturday, Flowman, I noticed a few of the under-14 boys had new haircuts for the Narrabri Quantong team. So a few shaved heads getting around as they celebrated their junior premiership.
Good kids. What about this? When the boys ran out to the Sunday, it was a big occasion for the footy club and the Netty girls too. Let's have a quick look at some BNFs. And in your BNF, it didn't go the same way that the voting went at the league medal. That was a very interesting result.
If you touched it on me, Flowman, I think, a bit of holiday tax with me not getting a vote. But, I think Tommy Clark had a great season and he was well-deserved winner up there. And then Nicky Aaron, who probably missed those 5 or 6 games, he come runner-up. But obviously, if he probably plays the full season, as you touched on in the league medal, he probably would have won it. But, yeah, Tommy Clark and Nicky Aaron were great leaders for us for this season.
They certainly were. The reserve grade too, an interesting count.
Yeah, I think Jake Parry, he probably took a bit of a back step with his footy this year, Flowman, in terms of just a bit more of a casual approach, but it just shows that if he had have probably played the full season, he would have played a lot more senior footy, but yeah, he's too good to be playing reserves consistently, and that's why he won the medal quite easily.
Excellent effort from Jake. Second up was Liam Preston. And then what about this performance? It was a beauty in the 17s by Will Fisher with 60 votes and Jamie Eckerman with 34 in second place.
Yeah, I think Will's a really skillful player, as we've touched on. And I remember running water a couple of times and thinking, geez, I'd like to be a teammate of Jamie Eckerman. He just tries his hardest all day, and I think that was reflected well in the votes, and he was a well-deserved runner-up.
In Seamus Clark, Cooper Stasinowski, Joshua Schulz, Dusty Eckerman, Parker Gould, Ryder Schneider, JP Dickinson and Bronte Efford and Charlie Robertson, Brody Thompson all were in the vote getting. And then we had the kids and the under-14s. It was a big night again for Lenny Weir. 85 votes from Ryder Gould with 61. Lenny nearly polled everything.
Yeah, great. Big win from Lenny there, but that was quite reflective of his year, Flowman. He had a dominant season at centre-half back in the under-14s, and he'll look to take that form into the under-17 comp next year. And, yeah, Ryder Gould is just, once he grows up, he's going to be a great player, and he'll play a lot of senior football wherever he plays, Flowman.
He certainly will. And can we just congratulate some of the netball girls too, because a superb effort from them. And Penny Fisher, 48 votes, won the BNF from Riley Cox with 32, while in the B grade it was Lucy Dorrington, 44 from Ebony Spokes, 39. And the C grade was Chantel Fisher, 51 from Tessa Leach, 27. While in the underage netball voting, it was a good effort from Keisha Baston with 46 in the 17s to the second place Shekinah Hurlston with the 34 votes. And then into the junior girls in their vote, it was a lovely effort from Phoebe Bingham with 63, and it was nicely done from Lily Williams with 61, the closest count of the whole day.
Yeah, some great netballers throughout our club, Flowman, from some great youngsters up and coming, like you touched on, Phoebe Bingham, right through to Penny Fisher, who's probably played more games than anyone in the area. So there's a great spectrum of talent throughout the netball club, and yeah, they would have watched on and watched the Edenhope girls beat Laharam on the weekend and all aspired to be in that game.
I think they will be. And Little Gazelle Clugston won the 13 and unders with 52 from Addison Fisher with 33. So lovely right through. A lot of support for you blokes. Now, was a meeting also conducted about the future of Jeparit Rainbow, and it was an interesting one because the vote would indicate that at some point in the future, the club has the support of its members in a future context to amalgamate with somebody. But at this point in time, that the discussions, of course, would have to occur at a later time.
Yeah, essentially the vote last night, which I think is smart from the members. They can see Jeparit Rainbow is going to struggle in 4 or 5 or 10 years, as all these smaller communities do, Flowman. So we've got a great opportunity while we are still strong and still have a great footy and netball club and facilities and things to offer to look at amalgamating with other clubs. And I think that's important to do something like that. There's no point. Sport's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be social. So there's no point sport impacting negatively on people in the community, and I think amalgamation's a great chance to share the load with other communities, embrace other communities and join together and make a strong footy and netball club and, make sure everyone who goes to the footy on the Saturday where they're playing or supporting is having a good time.
Excellent. Well, we'll follow that through with where that does end up in the next few months. And Weary, I know that it's time for us to wrap up our show this year, but I just want to say congratulations to you and your beautiful partner. You two together have found a way of having a baby at Christmas time.
Yeah, it's great excitement, Flowman. Now the footy season's over. I've got something great to look forward to. At Christmas time, we'll welcome a baby boy. So, that's some off-season news for you, Flowman.
Beautiful, Gabby, and Peter too, and everyone else across your club. We do thank you for your contribution each week here. People all around the place tell me how much they enjoy your very, very insightful look at footy across your district, and we'll catch up with you next year.
Yeah, thanks for being so supportive yet again, Wayne.
My pleasure, Peter, and thanks to Bow Bakery, Clugston's Butchers, and the beautiful fabric and the wonderful creations that come out of Mallee Magic, the end of Federal Street. Good to have you guys on board supporting our Jeparit Rainbow Storm report. We'll catch up next time.